Hi guys, thank you very much for joining today's webinar, Zumpul webinar. My name is Alfonso, and today's webinar is going to be a kind of a training webinar. I will walk you through some configurations in Zumpul, through some steps to create a signature, apply the signature, and also we are going to work a little bit with the Google directory or the profiles, rather. So I will cover the content. I will walk you through the training, so to speak, and then we are going to answer some questions thereafter. We're going to receive questions in the comments, and then we will be providing answers to all of the questions that we receive. So so I'm going to start by creating a signature in Zumpul, for the first signature that we are going to create, we are going to use a predefined um, template that is in the templates gallery in the application. So right now I'm in the application, and with this process, what I want to show you is how to create and apply a signature in less than 5 minutes with Zoom. So first thing first, let's go to create new signature, and then you will be directed to the signatures editor. And well, let's name this signature personal signature, for instance, or you name it, whatever that has a that is meaningful to you. And then the option that we're looking for, I'm sorry, is this one: choose a template from the gallery. So I click on the option. So let me refresh this. So personal, let's say personal signature, and then select template from gallery. I will choose the template number 9, for example. And as you can see, the content is loaded in the signature designer or the editor. Now, you can change any details such as the company website, maybe zoompool.eagle.com, for instance, or your website, and then a brief description of your company. In my case, Gmail signatures or G Suite signatures, whatever. Then we have the different locations, the headquarters phone number, and then in the content there's my first and last name, the title, department, and a phone number. Well, work phone number and home phone number, and then there's a logo, a space for the logo on the right hand side. Now let me show you this. There's a preview button in the options. If I click on it, I will have a look at the signature as it is right now. And as you can see, instead of showing variables, it's going to show the actual values: first and last name, title, department, and the phone numbers. And whatever you put in here, this is fixed text. As you were able to see, I edited here, and it's showing in the signature. Now let's move on and change the image. This placeholder, I'm going to upload my own logo, and that will be this one. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds to upload it, and as you can see, my logo is here already. But some changes happen here. I just right click on the image, go to properties, and then there's an align option, and I'm going to choose left. Then I accept. And as you can see now, the text is around the image. I'll go ahead and preview again. And there's the signature with the fields that I want to show. So once you're ready with the signature, it just hit apply signature now. Oh, one more thing, and I was forgetting this. Once you're ready with the signature, you have to move to the next tab, which is the Choose People tab. Um, then I'm going to search for the person or group of people that you want to assign the signature to. In this case, this account, Zumpul user. I move it to the right, and then I'm ready to apply this signature now. And then the system tells me that the signature has been successfully applied. So I will move to my Gmail, and if I compose a new email, let's see, the signature is not, it's not loading yet, and that is because there's some, delay, and that is due to cache and cookies and all that stuff. So to expedite it, you can sign out and sign back into the account, to the Gmail account, and then I will go to compose a new email. And as you can see, the signature is already here with my first and last name, title, department, and phone numbers. And that is how you create a signature by using predefined gallery. Those templates, existing templates, are designed by professional designers, so and are ready for you to use. Okay, now I say this just to have it for the record. As you can see here, I only have a signature that is the one that we just created. Now I'm going to create a signature from scratch. That means obviously I will not use any template or anything whatsoever. So I will start, and what's even more, I will get rid of this right here. Okay, so now let's start by assigning a name, and let's say brand new signature. You name it as you want. And then I'm not going to use a template. I'm not going to use any predefined or pre-designed template. So let's begin by adding the first name. So what I'm going to do is to move to the right to the fields palette. So I drag and drop the field, the first name, and as you can see right now, it's what it looks like, a variable. It has the dollar sign, opening and closing brackets, and then the field first name. Then I get the last name. I take the last name and I put it right next to the first name. Okay. Now the space, and then I will put the title next to the first and last name. All right. And then let's move a line, or yeah, let's go to the next line. And what I'm gonna do here is to add the email address, but in this case, I want to add a label. So I put the label and then I drag and drop the field. Same thing for the phone number, work phone, for instance, and then I go to contact info, phones, and then work phone. Okay. Then I will have a department. So I go back to basic. I take that department. Okay. And here I also want to add the company. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview this signature. All right. There you go. You have the first and last name, title, and company. Then you have a label, the email address, a label for the phone number, the actual phone number, and the department. Okay, that's fine. Now, next thing I want to do is well, let's open again just to explain you. So what happens if a user doesn't have a work phone number? It wouldn't be professional if we show the work phone number label, but we don't show any value, like is empty. That doesn't look very professional. So to fix that, what we can do is to use the conditional if. If you go to the palette on the right hand side, there's a conditional if right here. So let's put it in the canvas in the work area. So you drag and drop it. Now we are going to do the following. If you notice, there's an opening and a closing if. We are going to get, we are going to take all the content that we want to show or hide based on the condition. So I'm going to take the label and the actual value in this case, and I will put it between the opening and the closing if. Okay? But there's something else that we have to do. The next step is I'm going to take the variable name, but only the name, which in this case is work phone. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go to the opening if, and then I paste it here, the name of the variable. Now notice that it is in between the opening and closing bracket, curly brackets. And then you have a conditional if, and that means if if a user in the company doesn't have a work phone number, then I don't want to show this line. That is what we're saying. So let's see. In my case, I do have, on this user, we do have a work phone number. Therefore, is showing the field. Okay. Now let's do some other changes. Let's put this on maybe bold. Okay, and this a little bit smaller than the rest of the content. So that's 10, let's see 9. Now let's preview it. There you go. Now looks a bit better. Oh, a few spaces here will be nice. Let me see. Like here and here. Okay. Yeah, looks better. The first and last name, the title, and the company, and then a few other details that we're using. Now, I want to add an image to this signature that might be the logo of the company. So what I'm going to do is to use the Google Drive button here. So you click on it, and then you will be able to choose an image store in your Google Drive, or you can also upload an image from your computer, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the logo. Um, I select it, and as you will see, the logo is now in place, and it's huge, it's big, but that doesn't matter actually, because we will be able to fix it. And so what we're gonna do is just click on the image and drag um, one of the corners to make it the size that you wish. Now let's right click on it, then go to properties. Here you can also change the width and the height of this image. And then I want to align the text or the image rather to the left of the text so that the text is going to surround the image. Let's go to preview. And maybe a bit smaller will be nice. Um, if I move this a bit upper, let's see now. Okay, just a little bit smaller. Okay, yep, I like it as it is right now. Okay, then let's add some other items such as social media links. It's a very common practice to add the links to our social media. So for that, what I'm going to do is to add a table with, let's say, 4 columns, only one file, and the width I want it to be 30%. Okay. Now I have the four cells. So I will use the same method to upload an image. I have the icons here. I will insert Facebook. It looks big, but you can do what we previously did with the logo. So you have Facebook. Let's add also Twitter. Okay. Then let's see what else we have. We have Instagram. Okay. And then lastly, we have, I think it was LinkedIn. Let's see. Yeah, we can use LinkedIn. Okay. So now we have inserted the social media images, but we still haven't added the links to our social media. So to do that, see, this is smaller than the rest. Okay, let's preview it. Let's see how it looks like, and it looks fine. I like it. So next step is you click on the Facebook image, and then let's move to the options in the text editor, and there's a URL or link icon here. So you click on it, and then you just copy and paste the URL for your page. And Facebook, same thing for Twitter. In my case, I'm putting um, let's see, a general URL, and so on. So the same for Instagram. Okay, and last for LinkedIn. Okay, so now let's preview it again. Well, nothing has changed in that design, but as you can see, if you hover over these icons, those are links. Okay, and lastly, what I'm gonna do is to insert a little bigger image, which is going to be a marketing banner, and I have that in here. Okay, all right. So I put it. I'll make it a little bit bigger, and this banner is also going to have a link that it's going to direct to Zumpul website. So let's go ahead and preview it. There you go. So obviously, if you have a graphic design, you can achieve more graphic um, results, signatures, etc. Yep, that's how I want it to be. And as you can see, if I hover over, there's a link. Same thing for the social media buttons. The logo, we didn't put a URL or a link for the logo. And then we have the general information. Okay, next step that we want to perform is move to the choose people. And in this case, you can select a person, or you can also choose the groups from Google Groups. So say that you want to apply a signature for the finance group. So in such case, you should go to the G Suite admin console, create a group named Finance, and add all the members to the specific group named Finance. And you can do that for every single department in your organization. Let's say human resources, finance, IT, etc. And then you will only have to search here for such group. So I don't think I have a finance group. Oh, I do have a finance group. So I do have a finance group here. if I move it to the right, I am choosing this group in order to apply the signature that we just created. Now, that means that every single user that belongs to this group is going to get this signature set, okay? And you can choose singular persons or groups, etc. But now let's choose only one person. And then let's say, or let me choose somebody else. Let me show you something real quick. Ashley Brown. I will select this person and I will preview it. But now I want to see how the signature looks for Ashley Brown. So let me show you this. When I go to preview the signature, you are able to search for someone else. So Ashley Brown. And then you click on the refresh button, and the preview is going to apply to that specific person. If you remember, I was telling you about the conditional if. That was if the person doesn't have a phone number, a work phone number, then hide the field. But not only, well, not only the field per se, but also the label that was between the opening and closing if. All right. And then we have the links here, the social media, and then a link to the website. Very good. Now, once you're ready here, you can click on the apply the signature now, which I'm gonna do. And I just applied the signature. If you remember, I already had assigned this one. Or this user actually already had that signature, but I just applied a different one. So let's see. Like I was telling you before, there might be a delay due to cache and cookies, but take a look in this case. After a refresh, the signature is already in place. Okay, you have the links to the social media, and then you have a link to the website in the banner. All right. Excellent. Now, a few other things that I would like to show you here is um, the advanced configuration, and that is, as you can see in the advanced configuration tab, we have different options such as start date, enable, time zone on a specific time, etc. And this is related to the execution frequency. So let's move back to the general information in the signature. There's a field on the right-hand side that says execution frequency. This means that you want to apply this signature to the people that you chose every, let's say, every year, every week, month, or quarterly, or daily, if you wish. Now, in this case, I would choose weekly. Okay, I choose weekly, and then I will go to the advanced configuration. Remember, we're saying if you choose weekly, that means that this signature is going to be applied to these users on a weekly basis. So now let's move to advanced configuration, and then we have a start date. Let's say Monday, the next Monday. Yeah, next Monday at, let's say, 6 a.m. Yeah, 6:30 a.m. will be fine. And then the time zone, um, yeah, that is fine. And then make sure that you tick or that you click this option, this checkbox, enable. Okay. Otherwise, this automation won't work. Okay. And then you can save the changes, and then the system tells you that the signature has been saved. So you have already created the signature and scheduled to be applied every single week, every Monday at 6:30 a.m. Excellent. Very well. So next thing I want to talk about is, like I was telling you at the beginning, a little bit about the Google directory or the profiles within Zumpul. So let's move to the people section in Zumpul. And as you can see, well, what you will see is obviously all the users in that domain. Now, what happens if a frequent question that we get is how to add a new person to Zumpul? And the truth is, Zumpul is based on the Google directory. So if a person exists in the Google directory, is going to exist on Zumpul. Otherwise, you cannot create a person or a new user in Zumpul. It depends on the G Suite or the Google directory. Okay. With that being said, this is showing practically the Google directory. And if you open one of these users, you will see the profile details um, in the Google profile for this person. Okay. And that is the same for every single person. Now, why is it important to have a section to view the profile? Well, it is important because if you remember in the signature that we created, we were adding, well, first and last name. Every single person, every single account has a first and last name. But then what happens if we included the company in the signature? So what happens if this person didn't have a company? It will be empty like this, obviously. Well, you will be able from Zumpul to come to this section, to this user, and assign a new company. So for instance, Labs Eagle, or to edit the company. Now, that is not very common. The company might not be a very common scenario. But what about the title? There are very promotions in the company, etc. So maybe this person was an executive human resources until, let's say, yesterday, and today Adam James has a new position, and that is human resources, let's say, well, manager, because your company is growing. So now Adam James is human resources manager. So you can edit here. You see the department, the location, and all the other details. Then you save, and these changes have been saved to the Google profile. So if you go to the G Suite profile, you will see these changes reflected in there, and vice versa. So this is a two-way synchronization tool. If you edit this profile in G Suite, you will have to synchronize. We will see that in a minute. You will have to synchronize to view those changes here in Zumpul. Now, you can be confident that when you set the signature to this person, this is the fields that are going to be shown in the signature. So that is why it is important to mention about this section in Zumpul. Okay. Then you have emails, phone numbers, instant messaging, etc., and some links, and a brief overview. All right. Now, since, like I was telling you, this is based or depends on the G Suite profile. So when you create a new person in the G Suite, in the Google directory, I'm sorry, and you want to view it here, you will have to come to the people section and then click on the sync people button. Okay, and this is going to pull or to bring any changes or any new person that has been added to the Google profile, to the Google directory. Okay, so this is an account that I recently created, and it's showing here because I manually requested to synchronize people. Now, what happens if you don't synchronize people? Well, there's an automatic process that runs every midnight in Zumpul that is synchronizing users, groups, profiles, etc. So all the changes that you perform today, if you don't manually sync people, tomorrow you will see those changes in Zumpul. All right. Um, Now, let me show you another important thing related to the Google directory, and that is the a massive update that you can do to the profiles here. So let's move to the on the upper right corner in your profile picture. Let's move to settings. And in the settings, I'm not going to talk much right now about these tabs, but we will move to the last tab, that is sync and update. Now you have also this button here that is going to do the same as in the people section. Is going to synchronize profiles and groups in G Suite. So if you have created a new user in G Suite and you want to show it in Zumpul immediately, you will have to come to this section. Remember, settings, and then sync and update tab. And then you click on the sync button. All right. The second thing that I wanted to show you here is the massive profiles update. This is if you have a bunch of people that you want to change the location, for instance. So what you're going to do is to follow these steps. So the first one is telling you to create a copy of a spreadsheet that is going to be the template to perform the changes. So as you can see here, these are the columns that you have to provide in order to process the changes or the updates to the profiles. Now you don't have to provide every single field, every single column. You have to, well, the email address that is required. There is no way to process an update without email address. Otherwise, Zumpul doesn't know what user apply the updates to. So once you have put the primary email, let's say that you're going to change the location, like I was telling you. And this is going to be located in Miami, Florida from now on. Okay? If you don't provide, if you don't put job title, job description, department, and any other, Zoompool is going to keep what it is right now in this person. So if you don't have that, if you don't put a new title, Zoompool is going to keep the one that exists already. And same thing for the other fields. I only want to change the allocation. So once you have finished, and then here, I'm sorry, you have to, well, you have to put all the list of users that you want to edit, the primary email address that is required, otherwise nothing's going to happen. And then going back to Zoompool, you are going to choose the spreadsheet where the changes are, where you put the changes, which is this one, and then you click on update. And then the system is going to tell you that the process was successfully executed. If you went to this user, to this person, all right, you will see that this has changed already. You will see that this has already changed. Okay. All right. So we have covered a few areas, specific areas. First, how to create a signature in less than 5 minutes using a template. Then we created a signature from scratch. We added the fields that we needed, that we wanted, using text, images, links, etc. And then we talked about the Google directory, and more specifically about a person's profile, where you can see all the details, all the fields, and you can also edit in these fields. So now let's move to, and we also talked, I'm sorry, we also talked about the sync and update section in the settings. Sync to manually refresh, bring the new users in G Suite, bring the changes performed to the users from G Suite, etc. And then we also show how to process a massive update to the profiles using this option, massive profiles update. So now let me talk to you about these few other options, such as the notifications. This is useful, for instance, when you when you schedule a signature to be applied on a specific frequency, such as weekly, daily, monthly, etc. So you can add here users to receive a notification when that happens, when a signature is set. So you're going to provide here the name and the email address. And now two persons are going to be receiving the notifications. This one and a Zumpul account, which is the one that I'm using right now. The next tab is that, well, if you don't want a user to continue receiving the notifications, you only click on the X button to delete it. Then moving to the next tab, the collaborators. This is what users have access to the tool, to Zumpul, because not every single user in your domain is going to have access. And by the way, that's another frequently question that we receive, if all the users in that domain has access to the application. And the truth is, no, not all the users have access to the application. Only the ones, well, by default, only the one that installed the application. That has to be a G Suite super admin. And then any other person that has been added as a collaborator. To add a new person, you just select here or search for the person rather. And once you find the person, you will be able to move it to the right. Let me see. Okay. Then you move this person to the right, and now Ashley Brown has access to Zumpul in order to, manage the signatures, the profiles, etc. Okay. That is actually what I wanted to cover in this webinar. Like I was telling at the beginning, it was let's say a training webinar, so to speak. So I hope you find it useful. And like I was saying, we will be open to receive questions in the comments. So please leave any question that you may have, any feedback that you can provide regarding the application. That will be welcome and appreciated, since it's an application that is constantly growing. We have a roadmap with new features that we want to include to the versions. So feel free to contact us if you have any question. Leave the questions in the comments. Send us your feedback, and we will be answering shortly. So again, thank you very much for joining this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.